Hello. So basically, my presentation will be a good complement of what David just presented. David just introduced you to how now companies try to deliver a different marketing message, an individual marketing message to different people. We deal behind the scene on how different companies compete to deliver different messages to different people, and we are in a way solving the problem of allocating to different companies trying to deliver different messages to the same people. We help in allocating the right to display those content. So let me maybe give you a brief overview of the digital media industry as from our point of view. Just to frame a bit the presentation, I will not talk about the whole media industry. I will focus on the digital media industry, and I will focus on the display ad market. So the display ad is just the banners that you can have on web pages, and we can extend this as well to video and other kind of content that are displayed to you on websites or in apps. So before 2008, so everything was a lot of the process of displaying an ad to a user was manual, and a big revolution happened in the year 2000. So maybe let me, for those who are not familiar with how digital ads are attributed, let me introduce you how it works. So if you are a user and go to a news website, for example, you will go to a website. On this website, there will be some space where the website will be able to display an ad, for example, to show you a product. Of course, this ad is displayed by an advertiser who is a different person from the publisher of the website. And so before 2000, the year 2000, the website, so the publisher displaying the content to you, was dealing with advertiser manually. I mean, you had commercial guys selling over the phone big chunks of inventory, and those deals were delivered then with technology to deliver, like the Coca-Cola ad, for example, to a specific big class of buyers, of users. So, in a sense, it was a kind of broadcast style advertising. It's one advertiser was displaying the same ad to a lot of users. With the year 2000 and the beginning of search advertising from Google, the display advertising market was underwent a tremendous change as well. Basically, the process of selling an ad space was automated. So in the story I just told you, you have a user visiting a website. The website is the publisher I was talking about, sells an ad space, and you have advertisers that wants to buy this ad space. Automating the process of selling ad spaces means that the buyer will make the seller, the website, will make available his inventory on an automated platform, and the advertiser will connect to this platform to buy those ad slots. The platform is called an ad exchange. And maybe an important point about this automated selling of ads is that everything happens during the loading of the web page. So to wrap this up, the whole process, when you visit a web page, you're requesting, for example, an article from a news website. There is a request that is sent from the website to an ad exchange platform. The ad exchange warns all the advertisers that it cans that, user A is going to website B. Are you interested in this user on this website? All the advertisers can answer, yes, I'm interested. I want to display this ad at this price. The ad exchange hold an auction, and the highest bidder among the advertisers get the right to display their ad. And this whole process happens in 100 milliseconds. So of course, this whole process needs a lot of data processing, a lot of automation for it to function. So today, this real-time bidding process, so the whole process of automating the selling of ad spaces on website is called real-time bidding. Today, 30% of display ads in France are fully automated using this technology, and it's about half of them in the US. It's an estimated 30 billion market in 2017, according to some analysts. Actually, the story I just told you is actually more complex than the one I told you. Of course, the publisher, so the owner of the website, doesn't connect directly to the ad exchange because usually it doesn't have the culture for this kind of thing. Connecting to an ad exchange means set a lot of parameters, integrate, have like complex technical integrations, decide what kind of strategy you want to use to sell your ads. So the publisher, the news website, for example, will ask some intermediate will get help from intermediates that will do the technical integration with the ad exchange. On the buy side, the advertiser, Coca-Cola doesn't have the technology to directly buy on the ad exchange, so it will go through agencies, traditional agencies, but also digital real-time bidding kind of agencies that are called trading desk or demand-side platforms to connect to an ad exchange. So it's really more complicated than just a website selling on the automated platform and advertiser bidding on this automated platform. But it comes down to the same. And actually, it's even more complex. And you have a lot of actors dealing with all kinds of aspects in this process. When the user visits the website, you have people, companies tracking, collecting data about the user to sell this data to the advertiser. So these are called data providers. You have all the technical intermediates I was talking about. So technical intermediates for the seller to sell. So the seller is a website to sell on these platforms optimally. You have technical intermediates on the buy side, of course, and you have a lot of service to provide in this industry. So it makes the market really complex. So why was all this revolution happening? The main factor behind this revolution in the way ad spaces are sold are, I think, linked to these points. First, the traditional way of selling ad spaces was really mature in the sense that since it was manual, it had, I mean, selling the same ad to a lot of people on one website, for example, is costly, but not too costly, and you can pay a team of commercial guys to sell this kind of campaigns, and it's okay. If you want to really customize and send a different ad to different groups of people, then it becomes more costly because you have to talk to a lot more people. And on top of that, some part of the inventory, so some pages on the website were not sold, and it was not even profitable to hire another guy to sell this chunk of inventory. So all this made automation necessary. So a whole bunch of spaces were not sold because it was too costly to sell them. So it pushed people to automate the process so that it would reduce the cost of selling an ad space, and it would make it would allow to sell all the ad spaces where a lot of ad spaces were left unsold. So it's one of the big factor of why all this process of selling was automated in the first place. Then it was very difficult to organize competition between different actors before this RTB process was implemented. So you had really complex structure where, for example, Coca-Cola had data about some users and wanted to display ad only to those users. So the website had to fill in the ads that were not sold with another buyer, and you had like complex structure of cascade where A was not buying, so B was asking if it wanted to buy, and if it was not buying, C was buying, and all this kind of cascade process was slowing the delivery of the content. So competition was hard to organize in the previous way of selling ads. Then the revolution came with the ability as well to process large amounts of data and to collect them, and also to leverage them to, for example, the advertiser, they used a lot of data to figure out which user they want to display which ad. And with this ability of processing all this data came the interest in such platforms where you can buy in an automated way. Then the technology itself made available, of course, this auction. All this goes, I mean, it's in the framework of a long-term trend in automation. So AlephD, basically, what we are doing is helping the website to sell their inventory on those platforms. Maybe let me explain you why I mean, why and how we came up with this. So on those ad exchange platforms I just talked about, the process of selling is not, I mean, at first, I mean, when it all started, the process of selling was not that complicated. You had your traditional way of selling ads, so manually, and all the ads that you could not sell manually were sold on these automated platforms. So you just put your installed inventory on those platforms, and then the buyers were competing to buy your inventory. So a lot of the technology was developed on the buy side so that the advertiser can bid the right price for the right user. And actually, at some point, publishers were complaining that the prices were going down on their inventory. The process of selling was too complex for them. So we started developing technology to automate a lot of the actions that a seller can take to sell its inventory. So what we do is we help the website or the people selling the ad space of a website on an ad exchange to set individual price for each ad impression in real time. So we help pricing individual RTB ads. We also help in pricing packages of impressions. Maybe I will talk about this later. And we also sell a tool for the website to understand what's going on these platforms. So this was a broad overview of what the market looks like and what we do in this market. Now I will focus on one of the problems we solve. So it's the pricing of ad that I was talking about. To understand this problem, I will get a bit technical and describe how the attribution process works. So as I described before, when the user visits a website, there is an auction, and advertisers are called, and they can say, okay, I'm interested, I will pay this amount of money, I'm ready to pay this amount of money to buy this ad impression that is displayed to this user. But before that, the website sets a price under which it doesn't want to sell the ad. So it's called reserve price or floor price. So the user visits the website, then the website sets a minimum price under which it doesn't want to sell the ad space, and he'd rather not display any ad at all. Then the advertisers or the buyers that want to display content are called by the platform, and they all bid different prices. So here you can see, like, one advertiser is really interested in showing an ad to this user. He will bid $10, for example, and another advertiser is less interested. He will bid $2. The winner of this auction will be the highest bidder, and what is important is that on all those automated platforms, the mechanism of attribution is the second price auction. So for theoretical reasons, it's important that it gives good incentive for the buyer, but it's also an industry standard. So Google introduced this in the first ad auctions, and now everyone is using this mechanism. A second price auction means that the winner of the auction, so the green guy that bid $10, will pay actually the price of the second bidder. And actually, what happens if the seller raises the minimum price under which he doesn't want to sell? This floor can play the role of a second price, and that's why it's important for the seller to set a right floor price. Let me maybe explain a bit more. So when the seller sets a floor at $1, the first bidder bid $10 and pays $2. if the reserve price, the floor price was set at $3, then the second bidder would not be the $2 guy who wants to buy, but the second bid would be considered to be the floor price. And the seller would sell its ad space at a higher price. That's why setting a floor price for a publisher is important, because it has an impact on its revenue. Of course, if you set a reserve price too high, if you say under $12, under $12 I don't want to sell, you take the risk of not selling anything, and you don't display any ad, and you lose your deal. All this process, I already said it, but it happens in 100 milliseconds, so it's fully automated. And this decision of setting a floor at $1, $3, $12, it's an automated decision, and so it cannot be very complex. So when RTB started, it was not very complex. It was just that you were setting a unique floor for every impression. So every ad that was sold on the platform had a unique floor, and you could tune this floor so that you can make more revenue or less. But it was one floor for all impressions. So here in this picture, you can see that you have 4 different impressions. So 4 people visiting different websites with different ad spaces. And you see that the orange price, so the floor price is the same for everyone. So you see that sometime the second bid is paid for the first one, for example. Sometime the floor is paid, and sometime, and here the blue line, which is what is received as revenue for the buyer, is pretty low. So you might be willing as a seller to raise your floor. But if you raise your floor, you take the risk of not selling a lot of your impressions. So you will get more money on the first auction and the last auction, but you will not attribute your ad in the second and third case. So setting a floor that is the same for every auction, basically, is not optimal at all, but this is the way everyone operates today. And AlephD allow the seller to set an individual floor for every auction. So here you have a revenue that is optimized. You don't lose any auction, and you get the maximum price out of every auction. Basically, it looks very simple, but it requires to take decision in a couple of milliseconds. It requires to be able to predict the value of every user, and it requires to process the information you can get after each impression. And it's a lot of data. So this is what we do, actually. We do this couple of 10,000 times per second. So we take in a few milliseconds decisions about this floor price 10,000 times per second. So all this, of course, is fully automated. One nice aspect of this product is that we can optimize only a fraction of the impression of the 10,000 impressions per second I'm talking about, and leave, for example, 5% of these impressions unoptimized, and so we can measure the increase in revenue that we are providing to the customer. So basically, it's big data, because we analyze a lot of data. We automate the whole process of setting a price for these auctions, and the result, you can measure it in a reasonable statistical fashion. And it allows us to increase significantly the revenue of our customers. So let me maybe try to give you a sense of what kind of technology is behind this product, and how we deal with such large volume of data. First, we can legitimately ask the question of why are big data technology necessary? I mean, the volume of data we are dealing with were seen in the past, and usually people were dealing with such volume of data by sampling. So they were taking randomly a fraction of the data, and they were making like aggregates out of this data based on sampling, so they could have reasonable sets of data to deal with. Basically, sampling is not an option for us because we want to take a specific decision for every different user visiting a website. We want to take a different decision for every user on specific ad slots, on specific websites. So with so many variables we want to predict, we cannot rely only on a subset of the data we are collecting. Also, the question we want to solve requires to really model complex processes of selling, and the models are pretty complex. They have many parameters, so we cannot really afford to throw away data. Then we have more like technical reasons. We have very large dimensionalities, so we have like what I just said, like data for each user and placement. We have like nonlinear models, so they have more parameters. We try to record history about each user and represent this history. So basically, it's also very high dimensional, and we have very detailed models, and we want to avoid overfitting. So basically, all these are like technical and business reason to use every bit of data available to take the best decision for each impression. Maybe to give you a concrete example, for example, a given user, usually we see, so to set a price, we rely a lot on the price the same user was sold on the platform, and the same user, we usually see it like 10 times and not more. So it's big data because you have a lot of users, but if you look just at one user, maybe on one specific website, then you have 10 opportunities to know this user and to know that the buyer are interested in this user and to set an appropriate price accordingly. Very quickly, the amount of data we are processing daily is like 2 billion impressions. So we receive 2 billion report of impressions, so result of auctions every day. And we process much more requests, but it's a technical detail. Then we have to take decision in less than 10 milliseconds because the platform we are integrated with, the ad exchange we are working with, don't want us to slow the process of selling. We manage a lot of 200,000 different ad spaces on thousands of different websites. To solve this problem, we of course have a scalable design for our infrastructure. So we know that tackling twice our traffic can be done by adding new servers to our cluster, if you're familiar with this. Then to be fast and to be able to deliver the pricing decision in less than 10 milliseconds, we really use a lot of third-party open source tools so that we can really focus on being efficient taking in what we want to do, that is predicting and taking decisions. And because it's so complex and we have to manage a lot of different websites and ad slots, we automate a lot of the process in our company. So, like I said, we rely a lot on open source technologies. We could develop most of these bricks, but all this has been tested. It's efficient, and and you can hire developers that are accustomed to this technology. So you are more efficient if you use them. Of course, predicting the right price for the right impression requires, mobilize a lot of math. Maybe I will give you some figures about AlephD. It was founded in 2012. We raised some VC money in 2013, so $1.6 million. And today our revenues are $2 million yearly. And we are 17 employees, and we have an office in Paris and one in New York. And we are still hiring, actually, if you know people interested in working with us. Thank you.